It's wild how one weird looking squiggle on a chart can change your whole summer, right? So picture this, right? I'm sipping cold coffee on a Sunday morning, scrolling through charts like I'm swiping on a dating app, when my phone lights up with a frantic message from a buddy, Sean, right? Now, all caps, 10 exclamation points. He's convinced that we're about to watch XRP explode harder than a Mentos in Coke Science Fair volcano. Now, I've seen Sean get emotional over kind of new sneaker drops, so I kind of shrug it off a little bit until I pull up the XRP daily chart and nearly choke on my coffee. And there it is, right? A perfect 5-wave Elliott pattern curling like a cartoon spring. Now, wave 1 kind of started way back in November of 2024 with that ridiculous 500% run, right? Wave 5 topped out in January this year around $3.39. And since then, you know, it's kind of been bouncing along a kind of slanted trampoline of support like the kid who skipped out on leg day. And here's the kicker, right? Every time price kind of face planted, it landed smack on that downward trend line and rocketed right back up again. The most recent drop kind of tagged the support at 1.614, right where the golden pocket lives on the Fibonacci extension. That's the 0.0618, right? And that's for the math nerds out there, or as I call it, the crypto comfort blanket, right? Bounce, instant, right? And like the chart itself yelled, nope, we're not going lower today, right? And that's kind of when the analyst, the mysterious Twitter wizard, who somehow kind of tweets before my alarm even rings, called it an insane opportunity. Now, his words, not mine. Minimum target is $6.50, maximum $9.50, right? And if the moon kind of lines up just right with Mercury's kind of retro kind of grade, maybe even beyond. Now, of course, let's zoom out for a second. Bitcoin recently sprinted past $100,000, and this is the point of recording, trying to tag a new all-time high, dragging every alt behind it like a kind of water skiing squirrel, right? XRP rode the wave to $2.655, a level that we haven't seen since March, right? Then, of course, the party fizzled a little bit. XRP slid to a polite 14% or so, just enough to kind of freak out the casual holders, yet tempt degens with diamond hands. And if you're holding right now, you're probably going to feel like a teenager whose parents just turned down the music. I mean, come on, we're just getting started. Right? And the charts, of course, agree. Right now, according to the analysts' kind of blueprints here, right, first stop is retesting that stubborn 3.4 zone if it kind of failed to conquer back in January. Now, that line is basically the club kind of bouncer, if you will. If you get past him, suddenly you're kind of sipping VIP champagne at 650, it isn't just a random number that he's kind of plucked from thin air either. It's 1.618 Fibonacci extension. Now, for the numerical kind of allergic people out there, that kind of ratio shows up in sunflowers, snail shells, and apparently in crypto rallies that melt faces. Hell, I'm a Fibonacci nerd and I love it. Now, hit that line and we are already kind of talking about 183% jump from where XRP is chilling at the point of recording, roughly around 230. So that, but of course, you know, the analyst, that doesn't stop there either, right? He also kind of squinted at the chart, stroked his imaginary beard and pointed to 950. Now that's a 30x coffee upgrade, my friends, right? And if we kind of smash 950, well, we're kind of writing new all-time highs and handing out party hats. Now, of course, nothing in crypto comes without a dramatic twist. Enter Ali Martinez. So you think of him as the designated driver on this hype road trip, right? All peers, or at least Ali kind of peers, I guess, at the 1 hour chart and sees a possible head and shoulder pattern forming with a neckline at 2.3. So the translation here is if XRP loses that support, we might actually tumble to a sad, nostalgic $2, revisiting the earlier kind of May price panic, if you will. Now, he also tweeted that warning with the kind of same energy that your mum uses when she kind of says, don't forget an umbrella, right? At that moment that I'm recording this, price is literally tiptoeing around that kind of $2.31 level, right? It's kind of like walking on Lego bricks at the moment. So if we can hold the line, and we shoot for the stars, slip and, well, we kind of grab the mop and clean up the tears. So where does that leave us mere mortals, right? For me, the whole situation feels like waiting for the airport gate when your flight's been delayed, right? Bags are packed, passport is in hand, heart kind of fipping between vacation bliss and logistical meltdown, right? Every tick of the XRP chart kind of swings emotions, harder than a roller coaster, well, full throttle. But here's what kind of keeps me calm. It's the fundamentals. Right? Ripple's court drama is mostly settled, right? On-chain volume keeps humming along and enterprise partnerships multiply like rabbits after Valentine's Day. Right? Meanwhile, of course, broader crypto adoption is heating up faster than the UAE desert pavement in, of course, July. Now, let's dig into the Elliott wave a little bit more. If anyone who's kind of been around the block on this channel for a while knows that I am an Elliott wave guy. And, we need to dive into this because there's the backbone of this entire insane opportunity thesis kind of relies on Elliott wave. Now, wave 1 started in November of 2024, right? Price capitulated, 5x, and everyone suddenly remembered XRP existed. Wave 2, the classic correction, right? Markets catching their breath. Wave 3 came along roaring back bigger than wave 1, which is textbook Elliott wave. It should be 1.618 times that of the first wave. Wave 4 cools things off by 38.2% typically, again before January delivered wave 5's peak at 3.39. Now, after a full 5 waves, you normally get a B, C correction or WXY correction. It's a 3-wave corrective pattern. And that's kind of what we've seen in the last few months, right? Dribbling us down into the kind of thirsty trend line. So think of it like running sprints, right? You can only burst so many times before grabbing water. But once you've kind of hydrated, you can sprint once again. Now, according to chart law, once the C wave or Y wave bottoms out, at the support level, a brand new impulsive set often forms, potentially launching us into higher highs before the end. Now you pair that with the Fibonacci golden pocket bounce, and you've kind of got 2 separate technical signals pointing to the same go button. Now, if you're new to Fibonacci, imagine slicing pizza, right? The golden pocket is the sweet spot where the slice folds, never breaks, and, delivers maximum toppings in every single bite, right? Markets love it too, right? And prices correct into that zone, right? Institutions quietly scoop up cheap coins and then off we go. That's exactly kind of what's happened on April the 7th, right? When the candle wicked to 1.614 and of course rebounded like it hit a trampoline. The analyst circled that moment, probably kind of cracked at his kind of desk, or cackled at his desk, I should say, and, started kind of drafting those big targets. Okay, so let's address the elephant doing cartwheels in the room. Why stop at 950? Right, many in the community are already quoting double digits, right? The modern investor boldly claims that we're going to be seeing $9 by September 2025, while DK64 Trades says that $10 is easy, and I should go easy. Right, and the phrase, in fact, easy is crypto always makes me kind of sweat a little bit because, hey, confidence is contagious. Now, a push that high would give XRP a market cap that defies lazy comparisons and forces mainstream finance to shows kind of to Google RippleNet versus Swift live on television. Still, price doesn't travel in straight lines or in a straight elevator, if you will. Remember those kind of 14% dips? They're actually healthy, right? They kind of shake out the tourists and feed the accumulation zone for patient believers. That's me, for anyone who doesn't know. Now, I treat every correction like a Black Friday shopping spree, and it's kind of the fundamentals, or at least if the fundamentals haven't changed and the discount's juicy, why not grab a little bit of an extra car, right? Obviously, not financial advice, just the strategy that keeps me sane. And while we're on sanity, one reason that I never feel lost in these kind of choppy waters is our free crypto Discord server. Yep, there's a link chilling in the description down below. Jump in, say hi, share the memes, lurk in voice chats, whatever kind of suits you. Now, that server is where I first spotted Ali Martinez's warnings before it even trended on Twitter. Collective brains beat lone wolves every single time. And if you actually want to put your kind of thesis to work, check out Blowfin, the up-and-coming crypto exchange, linked in the description down below as well. It's got low fees, it's a slick interface, and the support team won't ghost you. Now, I've been placing spot and futures trades there all month, and it feels like discovering Netflix back when it was mailing DVDs, right? Early mover advantages. Get on it. Okay, so let's loop back to the risk, because responsible adults sprinkle caution like Parmesan on pasta, right? The neckline at 2.3 is serious, right? Now, lose it, and the head and shoulder target sits at around $2. That's roughly a 14% haircut from here. It's pretty painful, sure. Career ending? Hardly, right? Remember, $2 was kind of May's battleground, and bulls held it after multiple assaults. Short term, right, there's going to be some volatility, which is, of course, the entrance fee to big upside potential. And if the analyst's minimum 650 target actually materializes, that's 2.3 risk that could actually look laughably, or at least laughably small in, well, hindsight. It's psychology time. Markets aren't just charts and ratios, right? They're actually group tantrums, if you will, right? FOMO, panic, greed, denial. It's basically an emotional circus. Now, a lot of holders sold at January's 330p because they'd been underwater for years. When XRP retests that level, you know that some of those sellers will be waiting to buy orders with buy orders potentially loaded. That kind of demand could turn resistance into rocket fuel. And once you kind of break a major psychological level, the narrative shifts from can XRP reclaim its highs to how high can XRP fly this cycle. And that's how self-fulfilling prophecies actually happen. Now, analysts kind of pump out bigger targets, mainstream media catches on, and late adopters pile in, often right before the next shakeout. So stay nimble, keep cash on the side, and for the love of all things blockchain, avoid over-leverage on futures unless you enjoy white hair. Now, by the way, you might notice other altcoins quietly flipping the script on Bitcoin dominance lately. And when big caps like BTC surge, they usually rest, right? And that's kind of the lull gives space for alts to actually sprint. Now, XRP's setup could be timing that rotation perfectly. If Bitcoin cools above 100K, money might actually hunt for the next shiny opportunity, and an asset that's sitting on the cusp of a breakout to all-time highs checks a lot of boxes. Okay, so personal anecdote time. In 2017, I ignored XRP because flaming hot ICOs were popping up like carnival games. I laughed when friends bought it at under $1. Then December hit, price printed 330, and suddenly those quiet friends were kind of booking Bali trips, right? Lesson learned, never underestimate a token with real-world partnerships and an insanely loyal community. Fast forward to 2025, Ripple's dealing with banks, payment corridors, and pilot programs that used to be science fiction. Now, this isn't some kind of vaporwave meme coin. That's why seeing the kind of technicals align now actually feels a bit like deja vu, only this time I've got my ticket punched. Of course, macro risks hover like a storm cloud. Fed rate policies, global regulations, some random whale deciding to dump, or the occasional tweet panic about security breaches, right? Markets react, candles can get ugly, and Twitter loses its collective mind. And that's when strategy really matters. Now, my own approach, staggered buy zones, predefined sell targets, and breathable stop losses. No regrets, no hero plays. If we hit 650, cool, I'll shave a little profit. 950, I'll probably have some kind of ugly dance in my living room, then shave a little bit more, right? Because locked gains beat paper profits every single day. All right. Let's kind of stitch the key points together then, right? XRP's 5-wave Elliott pattern completed, corrected into the golden pocket and bounced. Support trend lines holding like duct tape on a leaky pipe. The analyst sees a minimum 650 move, maybe 950 if the stars align, but Ali Martinez warns, lose $2.30 and drop to $2. Now, right now, right, price is flirting with the neckline harder than your ex slides into your DMs at midnight. Decision time for the market is right now. So where do I stand? Well, I've got a moderate position, enough skin to kind of feel the win, not so much that a dip, ruins my entire week, right? I'm watching volume. I'm waiting for daily closes above 3.4. And when that candle does print, the confetti cannons do come out. Now, until then, patience, right? Remember, it's a marathon dressed up like a sprint. And if you're still here, you're clearly loving digging into the charts as much as kind of gossiping about your neighbor's new car. Do yourself a favor, jump into the free crypto Discord. There's a link in the description down below, and trade war stories with thousands of crypto nerds who never sleep. And if you're itching to kind of act, open an account at Bluefin. There's a link waiting for you in the description, and start trading on the platform that's actually feels built for the next bull run.